There's a lot of rumors about delivering Eurofighter Typhoon and F-16 to Ukraine, and for first time I'm against sending something to Ukraine. Okay, I know there is a lot of question in your mind right now that why I am against sending fighters to Ukraine. Just listen, I am against sending Western fighters to Ukraine, not Eastern. And I will give you 8 reasons why. Okay, I don't want to put the main reason by end of video and made you to watch all of it. So the main reason is the radar image of aircraft and RCS. Okay, so explaining this, let's go a little bit to basics. For firing a missile, it doesn't matter if it's a ground attack missile, an anti-ship missile, an air-to-air missile. We need to scout the target. We have to come to an understanding what we're shooting at, so we can make sure that we are not shutting down a civilian aircraft or a friendly aircraft. There are too many ways to scout an aircraft, and one of these ways is using radar based on RCS. Every aircraft has different RCS from different angles, and every country that operates an aircraft, they try to understand the image of RCS from every angle of that aircraft, so they can put it as a guidance, an offline guidance for the radar, so the radars can identify the aircraft as soon as possible based on RCS. And when it's come to the Russians, these things become very important because Russians have one major problem in their air force. They do not have an IFF system. So one of the main things that Russians use to identify their aircrafts using RCS. And just a little reminder that Ukraine was a part of Soviet Union. The main air force of Ukraine is all Eastern aircraft, all remained from Soviet Union. And the same aircraft in different modification were used by Russian Air Force for many years. So Russia knows RCS of these aircraft pretty well because they need them to identify their targets, right? So that's the thing that Ukrainian right now using, because they all have almost a similar RCS, so Russian air defense crew and Russian radar crew are familiar with RCS, but because they do not have an IFF, they cannot identify it as a friend or an enemy. So they have to reach the high command for asking permission for fire or not. So high command have to come to sitting at the table and see what aircraft is where and is that an enemy or that's a friendly. You see, Ukrainian using this thing so they can penetrate Russian air defense almost safely multiple times, and it will put higher pressure on the Russian crew and creates a possibility that Russian start shutting down his own aircraft. And it worked actually. Russian did shut down a couple of his own aircrafts. Well, I know I bored some of you right now. It's been 2.5 minutes. I'm only talking about RCS and RCS and RCS. So what the hell that thing means comes to the F-16 and Eurofighter Typhoon. Well, the point is that the F-16 and Typhoon have completely different RCS, and if they enter the Russian airspace or the place that Russian defends, they can easily identify them because they are not familiar with it. You know what I mean? And be realistic, they will not give Ukrainian the modern top version of these things. They will give them the T1 version of Typhoon and Block 40 of F-16. Yes, there are 2 legendary 4th generation aircraft, but they had their own time and their time is over. That's why they push them out of service and requiring new versions. And these things cannot face off the Russian Air Force because Russian Air Force is way more advanced than Typhoon T1 and F-16 Block 40. And they cannot provide a huge number of Typhoon T1 and F-16 Block 40s to the Ukraine so they can outnumber the Russian Air Force. This is not possible. Okay, let's talk about second problem, and that one will be crew and pilots. Look, we are not talking about a tank. Ukrainian Air Force is an Eastern Air Force, and that means that Ukrainian Air Force is trained and used to use Soviet-era strategy and air-to-air tactics. And this is different from the tactic that Western countries use on their fighters. And you cannot use a Western fighter to fight like a Russian fighter. It will be a fucking disaster because we designed the aircraft based on tactics. So you cannot train the pilots and crew in less than few months. They have to forget whatever they learn all of it from scratch, and now they are ready to fight. And it will be a couple of years. And Ukraine do not have a couple of years. Russians are already in their territory and they are preparing for a second massive push in Ukraine. Third problem, Logistic. Well, as you all know, we cannot use the same engine that used on MiG-29 and Su-27. Same goes for a Eurofighter Typhoon and F-16. Goes even deeper. Well, I'm not talking about different missiles, different bombs, different pens. No, I'm talking about small things. You cannot use the same fuel that you use on MiG-29 and Su-27 and an F-16 and Eurofighter Typhoon. They need and they require their own fuel. Even when you try to refuel this aircraft, you cannot use the same nozzle that you used to refuel on a MiG-29 and an F-16. They are different. And all of these things also supposed to be transferred to Ukraine and prepare the airbase to, host the aircraft. This thing also cannot happen in short time and it will need its own time. Okay, it's been more than 5 minutes and I'm getting tired. See you all in the next video or next episode, whatever. Yeah, what? I said I will talk about 8 reasons, but I only talked about 3? Did I? Okay, if you're still here, that's how a propaganda works. We promise you something, but it doesn't mean I have to deliver it. Am I? My goal was something else. My goal was to keep you here for as long as I want. Yes, I'm talking about other news about War of Ukraine that have been overshadowed by this big title news that Ukraine wants new fighters. And one of the biggest news is there is possibility of delivering medium-range / land attack cruise missiles to Ukraine. I will talk about it when it's confirmed that this missile will deliver to Ukraine.